And then Daniel's thing.
Yes,
I don't have a transition for this.
Clarkson's Farm, season 3. Yes. I've already watched this, but I'm going back and rewatching it because season 4 is coming out in a few months. And I think I talked about season 2 before, but yeah. So season 3 picked up in 2022, so a few years ago, and a lot of things happened at the farm. Most of them were not good. So at the end of season 2, Clarkson opened up a restaurant on the farm because he got a bunch of cows, and his whole thing was getting the cows, and then having different beef products in the restaurant, and but he was constantly getting what's the right word I'm looking for? The town council kept stopping him from doing it because they don't like him for some reason, even though he's bringing a lot of attention to British farming. He's bringing a lot of revenue into the town where where the farm is nearby. So it's a little odd. So it's just they're very strange. But he had to close the restaurant because the town council told him he couldn't have it. And he's of course had battles with trying to keep his shop open, and on top of that, they haven't been able to harvest a whole lot of crops because the UK was going through a drought at the time. And so a lot of what they had they couldn't use, and but Clarkson, being the self-described genius that he is, has a new plan. So season 1 he had sheep. Season 2 was cows. Season 3, pigs.
So every season has a different theme.
Yes, yeah, and so he takes one of the farm fields that he has and converts it into a pig farm, and and of course, right off the bat, he doesn't really do it very well because Caleb, who's the guy on the left of Clarkson, there, he went from being the farm hand, he actually got promoted to farm manager, and Caleb tells him, he's like, pigs have like 15 nipples. Like, yeah. He said, they have big litters. And so he's having the cows, or the pigs, all mating at the same time. And he's like, you're going to have like 50 piglets.
Yeah.
And so Clarkson's like, oh no. And so then he's dealing with the different aspects of trying to raise pigs and everything, and which is actually was really challenging and really sad because because apparently they talked to some other hog farmers, and I don't know if you can confirm this or not, DB, but apparently pigs are really bad mothers.
Huh. I've heard that for various domesticated animals that we've bred some of the mothering instincts out of them.
Okay. Yeah, because what ended up happening is a lot of the mothers end up like crushing the piglets, just like laying on top of them, and it actually got so bad. Like Clarkson actually, and he came up with the design for it, and then it was built by somebody else. But they named it the Clarkson ring, and they put a patent on it. And it's basically they put this metal ring around the shed thing where they keep the hogs, so that it keeps the mom will sit down on it and won't crush the piglets. But yeah, there's that part of it, and and of course, the other aspect is Gerald there, who's at the far end there, who's he's really quite the character. It become really, real beloved character on the show. Even though you can only understand about every third word he says. But he sadly at the beginning of the season he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. But thankfully, by the way, it's not unusual for men. He's in his mid-70s, and it's really not unusual for men that age to get prostate cancer, and it's also very treatable. So he lucked out.
Catch it early.
Yeah, they caught it early. Yeah. I mean, my grandfather had prostate cancer when he was around that age. So I mean, it happens. But he was lucky. And recent news, he's still cancer free. So
that's excellent.
Yeah, but yeah, this is Clarkson, being Clarkson, trying to do his best to be as good a farmer as he can, although many times he ends up screwing up and makes things worse, and which is kind of I was talking about it with BB before the show that there's a theme with him and the other guys who are on Top Gear and the Grand Tour that everything they do just always goes wrong. But he's actually, despite all of that, I mean, the farm is very successful. The show is very successful. And hopefully one of these days I'll be able to try one of his beers.
We can only hope. Now,
yes.
I do have one observation, but it isn't my observation. I saw somebody post on Twitter, British people always make fun of Americans for having HOAs. In Britain, the HOA is called the town council, and you can't move away from them.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
It sounds interesting. I might give it a second shot if I had an Amazon Prime subscription, which I currently don't.
Oh, yeah. You broke the conditioning.
I broke the conditioning.